I found the journal in her wedding dress, the one she never got to wear. My sister Emma kept secrets. I just didn't know I was one of them. My name is Olivia Grant. I'm 29 years old, and for the last 6 years, I've been living a life that was never supposed to be mine. Emma was 3 years older, 3 years smarter, 3 years prettier, 3 years better at everything. That's what I told myself, anyway. That's what everyone seemed to think. She had this laugh, not the polite one she used at dinner parties or family gatherings, the real one, this snorting, gasping, completely unhinged laugh that only came out when she thought something was genuinely hilarious, usually at her own jokes, usually at 2 in the morning when we were supposed to be sleeping. I can still hear it sometimes, in quiet moments, when I'm not expecting it. Our house in Austin smelled like her perfume for months after. Jasmine and something citrus. I found a bottle under the bathroom sink a year later. Sprayed it once. Had to sit on the floor for 20 minutes until I could breathe again. We shared a room until I was 12. Twin beds, white iron frames. She'd hang scarves over her lamp to make the light softer, pink and gold. The room would glow. She said it made everything look magical, like we were living inside a sunset. I hated those scarves, thought they were childish, pretentious. I told her that once. She just shrugged and said, "You'll understand when you're older." I was 17 when everything changed. Emma was 20, junior at UT Austin Pre-Med. Perfect grades, perfect boyfriend, perfect life. His name was Michael Chen. Tall, kind eyes, played guitar, wrote her terrible poetry that she pretended to love. He'd come over for family dinners and help with dishes and ask our dad about his work like he actually cared. Mom adored him. "That's the kind of man you marry," she'd say, watching them in the backyard, Emma's head on his shoulder, his hand in her hair. I adored him too, different way, wrong way. I didn't mean to fall for him, it just happened, slowly, then, all at once. The way he'd remember little things, how I took my coffee, which books I was reading. He'd ask about my day, actually listen, make me feel like I mattered. Emma never noticed. She was too busy with school, with planning her future, with being perfect. I told myself it was just a crush, harmless. I was 17, he was 21. Nothing would happen, nothing could happen. Then came the night of her birthday party, October 15th. She turned 21. Big celebration at our house. Friends, family, too much wine, too much music, too much everything. Emma got drunk, really drunk. The kind where Mom had to help her upstairs, tuck her in, close the door. Michael stayed to help clean up. I was in the kitchen, rinsing glasses. He came in, grabbed a trash bag. We worked in silence for a while. Then he said, "You okay? You've been quiet tonight. Just tired, liar." I looked at him. He was smiling. That smile that made my chest tight. "You're always watching," he said. "Like you're trying to figure something out." "I'm not, it's okay. I watch you too." 4 words. That's all it took. 4 words, and the world tilted. I don't remember who moved first. Maybe both of us. Maybe neither. Maybe it was inevitable. But suddenly we were kissing. His hands in my hair, my back against the counter. The taste of wine and disaster. It lasted maybe 30 seconds, maybe less. Then he pulled back, eyes wide, horrified. "Oh God," he said. "Oh God, Olivia, I'm sorry." That was don't. I couldn't look at him. Just don't. He left. Didn't even say goodbye. Just grabbed his jacket and went out the back door. I stood there, alone. The kitchen smelling like birthday cake and betrayal. Emma never knew. Michael never told her. We never spoke about it. He stopped coming around as much. Made excuses. Got busy with school. With work. I told myself that was better, safer. But then, 3 months later, Emma came home with a ring. Small diamond, silver band. She was crying. Happy crying. Michael had proposed at the park where they first met. Got down on one knee. Said all the right things. "I'm getting married," she announced, holding up her hand, the ring catching the light. Mom screamed. Dad opened champagne. Everyone was celebrating. I locked myself in the bathroom, turned on the shower so no one could hear me cry. The wedding was set for June. 10 months away. Emma threw herself into planning. Dresses, venues, flowers, invitations. She made lists, color-coded spreadsheets, became obsessed with every detail being perfect. "You'll be my maid of honor, right?" she asked one night. We were in her room, the one that used to be ours. Still had those scarves over the lamps. Still glowing, of course, I said. What else could I say? The guilt was eating me alive. Every time she showed me a new dress idea. Every time she talked about the honeymoon. Every time she said his name with that stupid, lovesick smile. I started avoiding her. Made excuses. Had homework. Had practice. Had anywhere else to be. She noticed. Of course she noticed. What's wrong? She asked one day. March, 3 months before the wedding. We were in the car. She was driving me home from school. Rain on the windshield. Gray sky. Nothing. You're lying. You've been weird for months. Ever since my birthday. My stomach dropped. She knew. Somehow she knew. I don't know what you're talking about, Olivia. She pulled over. Parked on some random street. Turned to look at me. Talk to me, please. You're my sister. My best friend. I miss you. I wanted to tell her. Wanted to confess everything. The kiss. The feelings. The jealousy that had been building for years. But the words wouldn't come. I'm just stressed about school, I said. Senior year. College applications. It's a lot. She bought it, or pretended to. Reached over and squeezed my hand. You're going to do amazing things, she said. You know that, right? You always get everything you want. You're so much braver than me. That's not true. It is. You've never been afraid of anything. I've always envied that. I laughed. Bitter. Broken. You envied me. Emma, you're perfect. Everyone thinks so. Perfect is just another word for scared. She started the car again, pulled back onto the road. But you're real. That's better. 2 months later, everything ended. May, 4 weeks before the wedding. Emma was driving home from a dress fitting. Final alterations. The dress was ivory. Lace sleeves. She'd sent me pictures. Looked like something from a fairy tale. Truck ran a red light. T-boned her on the driver's side. They said she died instantly. Didn't suffer. Didn't have time to be scared. I was at home when Dad called. His voice on the phone. Shaking. Breaking. There's been an accident. 4 words, different ones this time. But just as devastating. The funeral was on what should have been her bachelorette party weekend. We buried her in the wedding dress. Mom insisted. Said Emma would have wanted it. Michael didn't speak at the service. Just stood there, stone-faced, shattered. He tried to talk to me once. After, at the reception. But I couldn't look at him, couldn't breathe the same air. I left, went to the car, sat in the parking lot until everyone was gone. The grief was expected, normal. But the relief, that's what I couldn't admit to anyone. Relief that I didn't have to watch her marry him. Relief that the secret was safe. Relief mixed with guilt, mixed with shame, mixed with self-loathing. So deep I couldn't see the bottom. I graduated high school 2 weeks later. Didn't go to the ceremony. Got my diploma in the mail. Applied to schools far away. Got into NYU. Took it. Ran. Mom boxed up Emma's things. Stored them in the garage. Said she couldn't deal with it yet. Maybe later. Maybe never. I didn't go home for 2 years. Made excuses. Too busy. Too expensive. Too many memories. I started over in New York. New friends. New life. New version of myself. The version that didn't kill her sister. Because that's what it felt like. Like I'd manifested it. Wished her gone. And the universe delivered. Junior year of college. I met Daniel. Art history major. Beard. Glasses. Nothing like Michael. Safe. Uncomplicated. We dated for a year. Got serious. He met my parents. Over Zoom. Didn't question why I never went home. Then, 3 months ago, Mom called. I'm cleaning out the garage, she said. Finally going through Emma's things. There's a box here for you. She labeled it. For Olivia. After what? After the wedding. After she died. After enough time had passed. Can you send it? I asked. You should come get it. It's been 6 years, honey. It's time to come home. So I did. Booked a flight. Told Daniel it was just for the weekend. Family stuff. He didn't push. Austin looked different. Smaller somehow. Or maybe I was bigger. Changed. The house was the same. Dad's truck in the driveway. Mom's garden overgrown but still blooming. The magnolia tree we used to climb still standing. The box was in the living room, waiting. Brown cardboard. Emma's handwriting in black marker. My name, after she put this together about a month before, ... double quotes. Mom trailed off. Couldn't say it. Found it in her closet, behind her shoes. I don't know what's in it. I took it to what used to be our room. Still had those twin beds. Still had those scarves. Faded now, dusty. but still there, still making everything glow gold and pink. I sat on her bed, put the box on my lap, hands shaking, heart racing. Inside, photos, a bracelet, silver, simple, the one I'd given her for her 18th birthday. She wore it every day. I'd assumed she was buried with it, but here it was. Cool metal, dented, worn, under the bracelet. A notebook, leather-bound, her handwriting on the first page. Confession. I almost closed it, almost put it back in the box, shoved it under the bed, left it for someone else to find. But I didn't. I opened it. Dear Olivia, it started, if you're reading this, I'm either dead or you've finally come home. Either way, it's time you knew the truth. You think I was perfect. Everyone did. The good daughter, the good student, the good fiancé, but perfect is just another word for liar. I need to tell you about Michael, about me, about that night. I saw you, at my birthday party, in the kitchen. I wasn't as drunk as I pretended to be. I came downstairs for water. Saw you two through the doorway. Saw everything. I should have been angry. Should have screamed. Should have ended it right there. But I wasn't angry. I was relieved. Because I didn't love him. Not really. Not the way you're supposed to love someone you're going to marry. Michael was safe. Easy. What everyone expected. What I thought I was supposed to want. Mom loved him. Dad approved. He checked all the boxes. But when I kissed him, I felt nothing. When he touched me, I had to pretend. When he said he loved me, I said it back because that's what you do. That's what good girls do. But you, when you looked at him, I saw real love, real want, the kind I'd never felt, the kind I thought maybe didn't exist, or didn't exist for people like me. I should have let you have him, should have broken it off, but I was scared. Scared of disappointing everyone. Scared of admitting I'd been faking it for 2 years. Scared of being the person who gives up on perfect. So I did something terrible. I trapped him. The week after my birthday, I told Michael I saw you too. Told him it was okay. That I understood. That these things happen. I said we should break up. Give him a chance to figure out what he really wanted. He panicked. Said it was a mistake. That he loved me. That it would never happen again. Begged me not to end it. So I made him prove it. Made him propose. Made him commit in a way that couldn't be undone. Not because I wanted to marry him, but because I was too cowardly to let him go. Too afraid of what it meant about me if I couldn't even keep the safe, easy boyfriend. The ring, the proposal, the wedding planning, all of it was my trap. My prison, for both of us. And you, God, Olivia, the way you looked at me, like I'd won something, like I had everything. You always get everything. You said once, do you remember? I wanted to scream, wanted to tell you that you were wrong, that I had nothing, that I was empty, that I was so desperately jealous of your ability to feel something real that it made me physically sick. You were brave enough to act on what you wanted, even if it was wrong, even if it was messy. You felt something and you reached for it. I've never reached for anything in my life. I've only ever grabbed on to what was handed to me and pretended it was what I wanted. The dress fittings, the venue tastings, the flower arrangements. Every detail of this wedding felt like a noose tightening, and I kept pulling it tighter because stopping meant admitting I was lost. Meant admitting perfect Emma didn't have a perfect life, didn't even have a real one. There's more. Something I haven't told anyone. Something I'm not sure I can even write. I'm not straight, Olivia. I've known since I was 15. Maybe longer, but knowing and accepting are different things, and I couldn't accept it. Couldn't be that person. Not with Mom's ideas about family. Not with our church. Not with the life everyone expected me to have. So I performed, dated boys, smiled at the right times, said yes when Michael proposed, planned a wedding to a man I didn't love because it was easier than planning a life as myself. But you've always been yourself. Messy, real, honest, even when honesty hurt, even when it cost you. You never performed. You just existed, loudly, unapologetically. I envied that more than you'll ever know. The bracelet in this box, the one you gave me, I wore it every single day, not because it was pretty, but because it reminded me that somewhere, somehow, you loved me enough to see me. Even when I wasn't letting anyone see me. Even when I was hiding, I wore it like armor, like a promise, like proof that someone in my life knew real love. Even if I didn't, here's what I need you to understand. That kiss between you and Michael, that wasn't a betrayal. That was the most honest thing that happened that entire year. To people who felt something real, reaching for each other. Even for 30 seconds. Even if it was wrong. I'm the betrayer. I betrayed you by making you feel guilty. I betrayed Michael by trapping him. I betrayed myself by building a life that wasn't mine. And now I'm getting married in 4 weeks. And I don't know how to stop it. Don't know how to tell everyone I've been lying. Don't know how to be brave like you. So I'm writing this. My confession. My cowardice in ink. If something happens, if I don't go through with the wedding, if I finally find the courage to stop performing, I want you to know, this was never your fault. None of it. The guilt you're carrying, it's mine. It was always mine. You always get everything. That's what I said to you once. But what I meant was, you always get to be yourself. And I've never had that. Never let myself have it. Maybe someday I will. Maybe someday I'll call off this wedding. Tell Michael the truth. Tell Mom. Tell Dad. Tell everyone. Maybe I'll stop being perfect Emma and start being real Emma. And maybe, if I'm really brave, I'll ask you to help me figure out who that is. But until then, know this. I love you. I've always loved you. And whatever you've been punishing yourself for, stop. You're the only person in my life who is ever actually living. Don't stop doing that. Not for me. Not for anyone. Where the bracelets sometimes remember me. But not perfect me. Real me. The one who snorted when she laughed. The one who hung scarves over lamps. The one who was terrified and jealous and so completely lost. Remember that, Emma. She was at least trying. I love you, Liv. I'm sorry I never knew how to tell you. The notebook fell from my hands. I couldn't see, couldn't breathe. The room was spinning. Gold and pink light, scarves, ghosts. She knew. She'd always known. And she didn't hate me. She hated herself. I picked up the bracelet, slipped it on my wrist. Cold silver, worn smooth. A promise I didn't know I'd been given. The door opened. Mom stood there, concerned. You okay, honey? Did you know? The words came out sharp, angry. Did you know Emma was gay? Mom's face changed, closed, careful. I suspected, she said quietly, but she never told me. And I never asked. Why not? Because I was afraid. Afraid of making her life harder. Afraid of what people would think. Afraid of everything except the one thing that mattered, whether she was happy. Mom sat next to me on the bed. I failed her. I know that. She was going to marry someone she didn't love. I know. She was miserable. I know. And none of us saw it. None of us asked. Mom took my hand, squeezed. We saw what we wanted to see. What was easier to see. That's on us. All of us. I stayed in Austin for a week. Went through the rest of Emma's things. Found journals, sketches, poems she'd never shown anyone. Found evidence of a person I'd never known. A person she'd never let herself be. Found letters she'd written but never sent. To a girl named Sarah. From high school. I love you, crossed out, rewritten. Crossed out again. Never mailed. I called Michael. First time in 6 years. He answered on the 4th ring. Olivia, I need to tell you something. We met at a coffee shop. Neutral ground. He looked older, tired, different. I told him about the journal. About Emma. About everything. He cried. Right there in public. Didn't hide it. I knew, he said. Not about her being gay, but about her not loving me. Not really. I just didn't want to admit it. Didn't want to lose her. So the first pretended. Just like she did. She trapped you. I let her. We trapped each other. He wiped his face. That night. In the kitchen. With you. That was the only real thing I felt that entire relationship. And I hated myself for it. Spent years hating myself. She didn't blame us. She blamed herself. That's worse somehow. Yeah. We sat there. 2 people who loved the same ghost. Who'd spent years carrying guilt that belonged to someone else. To a system. To expectations. To performance. What do we do now? He asked. We stopped performing. I said. We live like she wanted us to. I went back to New York. Told Daniel everything. The kiss. The guilt. The years of running. He listened. Didn't judge. Just held my hand. What do you need? He asked. To be honest. About everything. Starting now. We broke up 3 days later. Mutual. Kind. He wasn't the right person. I'd known for months. But I'd been performing. Just like Emma. Playing the role of girlfriend because it was easier than admitting I was lost. I quit my job. The one I'd taken because it looked good on paper. Paid well. impressed people, but made me miserable. Started teaching high school, English and drama, kids who were struggling, who didn't fit, who were figuring out who they were. Every day, I teach them the same thing. Being real is better than being perfect. Messy is better than fake. Honest is better than easy. Some of them listen, some don't, but I keep saying it. For Emma, for me, I wear the bracelet every day now. Started a tradition. When something scares me, when I'm about to perform instead of live, I touch it 3 times. Feel the worn silver. Remember. Started going to Pride. Volunteering. I wear a shirt that says, "For Emma." People ask. I tell them about my sister, about perfection, about the cost of hiding. Some of them cry. Some of them hug me. Some of them tell me their own stories about sisters, brothers, friends, people who didn't get to stop performing. I went back to Austin last month. Sunday morning, drove to the cemetery, brought Jasmine, her perfume flower, sat by her grave, talked to her, told her about teaching, about quitting, about the bracelet, about finally living. "You always get everything," I said, using her words, our words, "but you were wrong. I didn't get everything. I got scared, just like you, just differently." The wind moved through the trees, warm, soft, Texas spring. "But I'm trying now," I continued, "trying to be brave enough for both of us, trying to live loud enough that you can hear it, wherever you are." I traced her name on the headstone. Emma Catherine Grant, beloved daughter, beloved sister. They didn't put beloved fiancé. Michael's idea. He said it wasn't true, wasn't fair. Better to just remember her as daughter and sister. The roles that were real. I touched the bracelet. Once, twice, 3 times. "Thank you," I whispered. "For the confession. For the truth. For letting me stop running." I don't know if she heard me. Don't know if that's how it works. But it felt right. Felt like closure. Or maybe not closure. Maybe just beginning. I'm writing this now for anyone who needs to hear it. Anyone who's performing. Anyone who's trapped. Anyone who's watching someone they love be someone they're not. Stop. Stop performing. Stop pretending. Stop building prisons out of other people's expectations. Ask the hard questions. Create space for truth. Let people be messy. Let them be confused. Let them be anything except alone with their secrets. My sister died in a wedding dress she didn't want to wear. Engaged to a man she didn't love. Planning a life that wasn't hers. And none of us knew. None of us asked. Don't let that be your story. Don't let that be someone else's story. Emma left me a confession. But really, she left me permission. Permission to be real. Permission to be wrong. Permission to stop pretending I had it all figured out. That's her gift. Her legacy. Not the perfect grades. Not the perfect smile. Not the perfect life that never existed. The gift is this. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be honest. The bracelet is still on my wrist. Still cool. Still worn. Still a promise. I touch it 3 times every morning. A ritual. A reminder. Once for Emma. Once for me. Once for everyone who's still performing. Still hiding. Still waiting for permission to be real. Consider this. That permission. From me. From Emma. From everyone who learned too late. You always get everything. That's what she thought. But the truth is simpler and harder. We only get what we reach for. And you can't reach for anything when you're holding on to a performance with both hands. Let go, reach, be messy, be wrong, be real, be anything except perfect, because perfect is just another word for liar, and life is too short for that. Emma's was, maybe yours doesn't have to be. Touch the bracelet, remember, live. That's all she wanted. That's all any of us really want. To be seen, to be known, to be loved for who we actually are, not who we're pretending to be. I see you, Emma, finally, really, and I love you. The real you. The scared you. The one who hung scarves over lamps and made terrible jokes and snorted when she laughed. I love that, Emma. I always did. I just wish you'd let me tell you.